How's it going, everybody? Gabriel, Santiago here. This is a Speaking of Harmony podcast, episode 63. All right, you guys asked for it, you shall receive. You guys have been asking me to comment on the All I Need challenge from Jacob Collier, the version that I posted. And here it is. Let's comment. Let's talk about that. All right. If you haven't looked at it yet, here's a card. So you can take a look at what I did. Also description in the video. You can find it in the description as well. What I did, I also did another video exclusive that it was first exclusive for my patrons. That you can also have access to playing 2 more takes, because I record a bunch of takes. So I picked up some, like a couple of them more, made another video and it released to them. And you can also watch that here and description of the video as well. And this was a little taste of the things I do for my patrons, right? If you haven't been on my Patreon yet, please do. You know, there's a lot of stuff in there. Here's the link for my Patreon. Here's the link also, you can click and go straight to it. It's just $5 a month and you get tons and tons of stuff, of perks from myself. You know, this particular one, for instance, my patrons already watched it, right? They're watching it now, and they have access to the track that I edited to play on it, that they're available for them as well. So if you like all this kind of things I'm doing, you know, definitely please support me on Patreon. It keeps me going, creating more content for you guys, right? So let's take a look at this. This is from that song All I Need from Jacob. It's a wonderful song. Jacob Collier is a great artist. You probably know him by now if you're seeing this video, and you probably asked for it, right? So he issued this challenge where he just release a little excerpt from it, like 28 or 30 seconds or something, and you're supposed to play and do whatever you want with it. So what I did was, first of all, I extended a little bit because I wanted to make it to like about almost 1 minute. So I have a little more things to put in there. The 20 seconds, whatever, was really short, and I wanted to have a little bit more time to develop something, right? So I edit this track of his to make it a little longer, and that's what I'm gonna be using here and playing over, and that's what my patrons have access to, and you also have it if you join me. So basically, it's just two chords, and super tasty, super nice chords, right? You have G flat major 7/9, right? Major 9, and you have E flat major 9, and you have this little nice rhythmic thing happening with the chords. Like this thing, man. This is like super César Camargo Mariano-esque, right? César Camargo is this wonderful Brazilian pianist, composer, arranger. He's a master of Brazilian music, and this is kind of like his thing. This groove that he does, his kind of signature groove. So I don't know if Jacob listened to César already, but I think he might have actually. He's been in Brazil for a few times already. So this is very César Camargo Mariano, which is exciting. When I saw it, it's like, oh man. And you can kind of go into a samba from there. That's why in my version I kind of inserted a little bit of a samba at the end, because this groove works as well. César used to use that stuff a lot. I'm actually gonna link here in the card some videos of him, so you can check out his groove and stuff. It's really awesome. Anyways, there's so many things you can do with this with these 2 chords, right? But I'm just gonna go quickly into what I did for my approach for that specifically thing. I wanted to do some very specific thing, just a little bit of just blowing over the changes, and then I went to this groove thing, and then insert some kind of a samba, and then the thing ends, right? So from that, let's just check out what I did, right? Because you guys are asking me. So you have several ways to look at this progression, right? You can just kind of look at it on just an isolated kind of way of, okay, this is just 2 chords, this chord and this chord, and just treat them as such, right? Or you can look and see how that fits into kind of some kind of a tonality and stuff, which is pretty tough, a tough goal. But we can see, if you consider this to be an E major key thing, so this probably, there's some like modal exchange happening here. If E flat is your tonic, the 3rd degree of E flat major is G minor, right? Right? But in E flat minor, the third degree is G flat major, right? So if you think like modal exchange wise, this is what's happening here, right? So you're taking the third degree from the minor E flat and then bringing it to the major E flat. That's hence you having, right, these two chords, right? So you start with that chord, the third, and then resolve back to one. If you analyze it this way, there's so many ways you can look at this, but granted, if you look at this way, you know. So what I did here was melodically, they're really specific things, you know, these chords. I use Lydian, like mode-wise, I use Lydian for both, right? That's where I was looking into it. Right? It's hard to not play the sharp 4 on both chords, right? Because it just fits, right? That note, C, is in both chords, right? Right? And like A is definitely one to play here as well on E flat. I mean, you could technically play A flat as well, because you're playing A flat here. I wouldn't use A flat though on E flat. I'm just kind of screaming for it to use A, to use a sharp 11. So sharp 11 both, right? So what I did was basically this, you know, I was the particular take I did, I just wanted to like sound really good, so I just kind of went into this little riff, you know. Right? Just kind of playing around this kind of sound. It's a pentatonic sound, basically, right? It's totally pentatonic vibe, right? Right? What pentatonic's that? Well, you can think of B flat minor pentatonic, right? Right? That works as well. You can think also as D flat major pentatonic. It's the same sounds, right? No, probably looks like more like D flat, I think, right? Right? So that's what I did at the beginning. But I was really kind of locked in, like time-wise, I was really kind of on top of the beats. Like, something like that, right? When it came to the E flat, now I did, right? Another kind of pentatonic thing, right? G minor pentatonic. You can also think of B flat major. Also, right? It works as well, right? Right? You can also see this being in shape of a G minor pentatonic. Right? It works too. But if you think like the pentatonics like that, you can also think of B minor pentatonic and B major pentatonic. That's already out of the bat. You can already think like easy like that. Like B flat minor, B flat major. That already covers your ground basically, right? Let me do a round just using those, right? Playing B minor pentatonic and B major pentatonic, right? Let's look at it and see how that sounds. All right, bear with me where I put the track on it. The track I extended, right, again, to remember you. It's a little longer than the like 20 seconds or so. So here we go. B flat minor pentatonic, B flat minor pentatonic, then B major pentatonic. There we go. right? Of course, that very ending, there's this little chromatic thing, but like A flat sus. So I probably play over G flat major to kind of go to the sus, right? Let me turn this guitar a little bit, man. I changed strings the other day, a couple of days ago, and you know how it is, right? This podcast has no editing, as you can see, right? I just go into it, I'll start talking, and the guitar goes out of tune, and I just turn the middle of the podcast. So bear with me here. We're good to go. All right, so you see what I'm talking about? I did B flat minor pentatonics and B flat major pentatonics, and right out of the bat, you're good to go. I put some blue notes in there as you saw. Right? Also on the major. Right? It works as well. So you can think like that, right? Or you can just go straight up Lydian, right? On the G flat, you can think of, G flat Lydian. Then E flat Lydian. Right? You can also think the same sounds, right? D flat major, right? When you play over here, it's the same scale, same sound, right? Or you can also think of B flat major. Same thing, right? So let me do another run. Now I'm gonna use more notes, right? Because I'm not playing on a pentatonic, I'm playing the Lydian for both. So G flat Lydian, E flat Lydian, right? Again, bear with me where I paste this track here. Here we go, Lydian. I was really trying to exaggerate the Lydian-ness of the sequence, right? Really kind of resting on the sharp 11 so you could see the effect, right? So I did right? Which can be a cool thing to kind of elect some notes that can go around, like this one. So like C was a note that I really kind of held onto. It was sharp 11, then it became the 6 of E flat, so I did. See? It works to kind of have a note that can go around it, and then I was playing around with two Lydians, basically, right? Another thing you can do here is just kind of apply other colors to the chords. On my personal case on that thing, I was hinting very lightly, and you can see that on the alternate takes, because I did a bunch of them, just hit the chord, just played a bunch of times, and every time I was just kind of creating that take that ended up being the take at the last one, right? The ideas that I was liking, I was just repeating them. Like this pentatonic kind of beginning. So I like that, so I kept playing that, right? There was a moment though that I did slightly pass through a sharp 5 during the E flat major. So I did something. So I just passed on the sharp 5. You know, you can do like a Lydian sharp 5 thing, right? playing basically C melodic minor, right? Over E flat, like. So you're having this kind of sound, right? Right? Some more alter kind of vibe, right? I was also using on alternate takes, I was using this shape that I use all the time. I talked about this shape on the Giant Steps Anatomy of a Song. Here's a card. You can check out the episode that I'm using this stuff. Me and Justin Vasquez, saxophone player, we both use the shape for a bunch of things, but also improvising. So I can also arpeggiate this kind of shape here, which is this kind of sound, like. So this sound on top of this. So I'm covering sharp 5 and 6 in the sound as well. So I use that shape as well to go, so I can go. See the effect? Of course, I'm playing around with the sharp 5 all the time, and this shape gives a nice color, right, on top of this chord. So I use that a lot as well. I can try to use also on the G flat. I didn't particularly use, but I could. You know, here it's kind of out there. You know, be this sound, right? Over that, so. Sorry. Over this chord again, the same idea, right? This idea. It's kind of out there, right? So let me try another run playing these two things, these shapes over there. You see, it's not gonna be that music because I'm just gonna be like, you know, on purpose trying to play those sounds, but just for you guys to see the effect that you can get, right? So here it is again. Now doing like a sharp 5 kind of sound in there, using the shape as well. Here you go. Right, it's kind of out there. I wouldn't really use as my main, you know, my main weapon in this case, but it's there. You can use it as an effect and stuff, you know. It's available if you know, pass by it a little bit, right? See, just breeze through it. It's a nice call if you know how to use it. Be comfortable using that stuff, right? So this is just, you know, some of the things that you can do. There's so many things. Like in terms of the groove, then what I did was I just went straight on that groove. Using like the Herbie thing. I call a lot the Herbie thing, which is on another episode, one of the early runs you can check out in the card here. When I talk about the Herbie thing. It's just like this chromatic kind of movement he does with the chord. And he's saying it's a very Herbie-ish. That's what I call the Herbie thing. So I use that on the groove, right? So I did this, you know, this trick on the you know, on the turn of the chorus again. It goes a little feel to be just kind of rhythmically like this. right? Like this kind of thing. I also do this kind of thing. Then I did full samba on top of that, which fits nicely. It fits like his bass drum. He was doing kind of a samba bass drum. So I just kind of, you know, inserted the samba feel in there, and it fitted nice. So I did this kind of thing. And this thing, and what I did here was just, you know, just playing over A flat sus. So I played, you know, Mixolydian over here, either A flat Mixolydian or D flat major, right? I did, and I kind of ended here, right? That's kind of how I ended, right? So this is like the approach that I had. There are many things you can do here as well. We don't have time to cover all this, but I kept just kind of resumed to the things I used, and just give you a little sense of the colors that you can use over the stuff. It's great progression, and you can have a lot of fun with it, right? If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube so I can keep doing this. This is all my social media stuff as well. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notified when a new video is on. All right. Again, remember, this is brought to you by my patrons at Patreon as well. Patreon.com. Here's a card again, so you can join me. Like this little edited version that I did for the track, they get to have that and they can practice. So you can have that too if you join me at Patreon. Tons of content available all the time, posting every week there constantly. So it'll be great to have you there as well, right? So this was another episode of the podcast. I hope this you know, was helpful to you. Please let me know if you have any more questions. I would love to address them. You know, let me know, and maybe post links, or if you did the versions as well of the challenge, you know, let me look at them, watch them. Post your versions of here in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you a lot, guys.